It's Chillmonger. There's an article here by GQ, and Tom Holland says he'd be a failure. What if he's playing Spider-Man at 30? He didn't just say that. Tell me he did not just say that. Let's pull it up and see exactly what I think is wrong. Um, Control F. This is where it is. At the very end, he talks about it. He goes, Holland, however, isn't so sure. Maybe it's time for me to move on. Maybe what's best for Spider Man is that they do a Miles Morales film. The reason why it's not best for Spider Man to do a Miles Morales film is because when you said Spider Man, I was thinking of Peter Parker, the guy in the red and the blue. And then you switched it up and mentioned Miles, and I'm like, oh yeah, there's another guy named Spider Man. The whole time I was just thinking of Miles. You know what he should have? His own creative name. His power set is different, so maybe something that takes into consideration that he can turn himself invisible because the spider that bit him can do that, and he also has some sort of shocking webs. Also, that they should consider that when they nickname Miles. But anyways, maybe what's best is for Miles Morales' film. I have to take Peter Parker into account as well because he is an important part of my life. The quote ends, he says, but also, colon, if I'm playing Spider Man after I'm 30, I've done something wrong. My issue is this here because this is a quotation. You see the little 99 quotes, and then the GQ cuts in to say, he says, but also, and then it continues his quotes. This ish was taken out of its regular context. I have no idea what the context of it was. So any further the rest of this video is under the context, the interpretation that Tom Holland means exactly what that says without knowing what he said prior and what he's going to say after. Okay, so this was a cut and screwed, and it's clickbaity article that they did because they knew people like folks like me would get talking about it. Okay, so if he says if I'm playing Spider-Man after 30, I've done something wrong. Well, Tom Holland is a 25-year-old. Tom Holland has a June birthday, so let's say by June of next year, he signs a contract. He's 26. He'll be doing one more film. He's playing Spider-Man at 26. Cool. He's got his own movie. Takes 2 years later, we'll get a second film because this is the pacing that they do. 28, we get a second film. There will only be two more Spider-Man movie according to this. That's it, and then he's done. I don't believe that for a second. Come on, Tom Holland has two more movies. He is playing hardball. This is contract negotiations. He's gonna be like, by the way, guys, I really wasn't interested in doing some more Spider-Man stuff, so you're gonna have to back up that Brinks truck if you want to make me continue playing him. That's all that is. That's all that I hope that is. Because if he really thinks that way, like you're a failure if you're still playing Spider-Man, you're not a failure. You're a provider of entertainment to people like me. If you really think like that, Mr. Holland, Mr. Thomas Holland Dice Sauce, I don't think that. I'd appreciate the work that you put in. I appreciate it today. You've done it 3 times. I'm yet to see the third one, but actually, if you include Infinity War, Civil War, Endgame, we've seen you playing Spider-Man 5 times. There will be a 6th coming in December, and I'm thankful for that. So you guys, make sure you shoot this video over to Tom to let him know people like me appreciate him. If you appreciate Tom Holland, say that you appreciate Tom Holland because we appreciate you. You're not wasting your life or anything if you're still playing him at 30. He's got aspirations to play James Bond. That's cool. Daniel Craig, I searched, was 38 years old when he got casted as James Bond. You've got some time, mate. Mate. James Bond isn't going away. And if you get to be James Bond at the age of 37, that means that's at least 4 more Spider-Man movies if I do the math. I just want Spider-Man, and I don't want this guy to phase out. The MCU will still be here when you're 35 years from now. I don't believe they will actually do a reboot until another 10 years when people start getting way too old. I guess you'll be too old at 35 because comic book Peter Parker is still in his mid 20s. And yes, I said mid 20s because they'll never admit his actual age. The editors will just call him mid 20s. So there is room and stories to be told with you that match your comic book counterpart. You have not outaged him as a 25-year-old. You will eventually, but even then, like it's not like a 30-year-old Peter Parker can't do a story that's going on now. Like what story did we just have now when something recent from Nick Spencer's comic book series of Amazing Spider-Man? You had J. Jonah Jameson on a podcast with Spider-Man. There's no reason why you can't do that. He had the social media suit. Remember that white and gold suit where you can vote and like, how did it go? I forget. I'm bad. Issue 61 of this volume of Amazing Spider-Man. So it will be issue 862. That issue, that's the one I'm talking about. Okay? Okay. That quote was taken out of context. Much hyperbole will be made of this. And I'm not gonna fall for it. Okay? Okay. Thumbs up the video. Watch everything else that I talk about here. It's not official until you punch and make that circle appear. It's Chillmonger here on YouTube. And go watch the video at the side right there. And I will catch you all on my Saturday stream of 33 burning MCU questions. The funnest stream on YouTube. And you know what? Since we're having fun, I'll do it one more time. Her name is Ms. Marvel, aka Kamala Khan. Kamala Khan.